Is 78th international, 148th in ODI, and he literally did manufacture that century. Alongside that, India also did manufacture a brilliant win against Bangladesh as they win fourth game in the trot on this World Cup, and that also means India go on top of the table, and India win this game comfortably by 7 wickets. For India, there are a lot of positives, just positives, except maybe Hardik Pandya's injury, which they'll be slightly concerned about. They'll possibly assess it and see how he goes about it. But as of now, it's just positives and it's all celebratory mode everywhere across India as we are heading towards Dashera. At the same time, Virat Kohli just granting us another special before a festive season is a prime Virat Kohli like thing to do. I have Sandipani with me. Sandipani, what a win for India, and India will be very pleased with that.
Definitely. India will be very pleased with it, and obviously, us fans are also really pleased with it, especially with KL Rahul. First of all, let me get this out. Thanks to KL Rahul for allowing King Kohli to get to another 100. I think the landmark is not of as much as of, I mean, it's not really important as much the win was, but I think it was a comfortable win, and uh, we just have that 100 to latch on to from the batting performance. And from the bowling, I think India were once again spectacular with the ball. I think, yeah, I mean, Kohli scored a century, but it was one of those flat decks where you can only get out if you're trying to play those big shots. So to control Bangladesh, to restrict Bangladesh to 256 after the the flyer that they got off to, especially with Tanzid and Liton Das's innings. It's a commendable effort. In the middle overs, that is where we have been the most dominating. And I think
Yeah.
Kuldeep Yadav and Ravindra Jadeja, the spin duo. Ravindra Jadeja is I think the fourth highest wicket taker in this tournament right now. And after Bumrah, he has picked up 7 wickets in these 4 games. He is a surprise package, which nobody, I mean, at least we did not expect him to come good with the wickets. I mean, always
Yeah.
when you talk about Jadeja and Kuldeep Yadav, the duo, you feel Jadeja will be the one that restricts the runs and Kuldeep will pick up the wickets for you. But it's a brilliant combination from them. The bowling partnership looks great, and I think Rohit Sharma's captaincy, you'll have to give it to him, because especially Hardik Pandya was injured after 3 deliveries, so he did not have a 6 bowling option, so he had to bowl 9 overs from Shardul Thakur. The way he used an out of form Shardul Thakur, so that Shardul Thakur was expensive, but he did not go in excess of 7 runs per over. He's the only bowler that probably looked to be in some sort of discomfort. And I think Siraj once again proved extremely little in the
Hmm.
second spell, but once again I
Right.
think he was a bit greedy in the first
Hmm.
spell. After 4 overs 6 runs, he
But it
he,
was a
he and
flat
Bumrah,
deck, Sandeep. We can't really blame it on Siraj.
we
In
can't blame
in
them.
certain
That's
aspects.
why I said I think it's a win that the bowlers deserve. I think the batters, if India were chasing well in excess of 300, I would have said that you should give the man of the match to the batter. But
Yeah.
I think Ravindra Jadeja deserved this man of the match. A
Yeah,
brilliant
but
catch, two
it
wickets,
doesn't
and
help the
extremely well.
marketing or PR of ICC if Ravindra Jadeja gets the man of the match. That reel which they post will need more views if only Virat Kohli gets a man of the match, and it's deservingly so. Virat Kohli is a man of the match. It's all part of the larger game. Even Richard Kittlebro literally knew this was going to happen because you guys come 9 minutes late. Come on, man, on time, waiting for you all. We came at 10:15. Our show was scheduled at 10:30. Couple just reiterating the fact that our show every day night is at 10:30, not after the game. We don't run for views like other channels. We wait for our time. We have our own time. So that's where it is.
We'll let the
Pakistani
moment sink
and
in first.
yeah, at the moment singing, let's watch everything. Pakistanis and Poms crying after Virat Kohli's century. Congratulations, my favorite cricketer Virat Kohli. That's beautiful. They just shut up. Aisha is he is not talking about you specifically, but the Twitter has been really salty over the last 1 hour because of what has happened, and maybe you can hear the background of what is happening. That's how they've been barking. So nonetheless, it's just to have the effects all across. But nonetheless, to be very fair, Aegis Canade Virat deserved it. To be very frank with you, I think it was KL Rahul who really initiated Virat Kohli to go for the 100, and it was beautiful to see that. To be honest, he deserved 100. And remember, last time Virat Kohli scored 100 against Bangladesh, you know what was the end result of the tournament. So, just giving you a little bit of heads up on what is happening. We are following the path. We are following the path. It was all for the larger good. It is all
And
for the
it was an
larger good.
unbeaten 100 as well.
Yeah, it was a unbeaten 100. I think it was 103, right? It was 103 as well, if I'm not wrong.
No, I think it was 100.
It was
Not 100.
103, 100, 103. Oh, either
103.
way,
Yeah.
83 ball 100. But yeah, that's what happened last time around. But yeah, congratulations to Virat Kohli once again, 48 and just one behind Tendulkar, two to surpass Tendulkar. And if he can do it in the next 1 week, it'll be perfect. It'll be perfect to do it in the next 1 week. Or against Sri Lanka in Mumbai, his favorite opposition on November 2nd, just before his birthday would be ideal. Or on his birthday on November 6th or 5th, whenever they're playing South Africa, that'll be also ideal in every possible way. Or in the World Cup final to score the 51st and the 81st, or however it goes about it. We are excited for that, aren't we? But today that Bangladesh bowler almost did Sri Lanka Suraj on the behavior bowling wide. But yeah, it was Richard Kettlebro. You have to give the credit to Richard Kettlebro. He still regrets, for that Dhoni moment. This was his redemption, and he did it. He's a fan, guys, an absolute fan of what he did. Fanboy moment from Richard Kettlebro. तुम लोग इतनी obsessed क्यों है पाक के साथ? हम कोई obsessed नहीं यार, हम इतने खुश है पाकिस्तान इंडिया में है, बैंगलोर में है। हमको जाग के देखने का मौका नहीं मिला, पर हम चिन्नस्वामी अच्छा ख्याल रख रहे हैं उन लोगों का, ये अच्छी बात है। पर ये सब छोड़ दे, पाकिस्तान लोग भी बहुत खुश है, और विराट कोहली का 100 के बारे में हम भी खुश है,
Yeah, I
सब लोग खुश है।
think
और all the best to Pakistan for tomorrow. We wish them all the best. Being our sweet neighbors, wish them all the best against Australia. We will cheer if Babar scores 100 tomorrow as well. He's our best player in the world. There's only one world number one batter, Bobby Badshaw. Let's all shut up. Kohli said that Kale would, Kale, it wouldn't look nice if Kale, and also Kale convinced him. Absolutely, you're right about that. Kale is the one who convinced him to score that 100. But yeah, let's come back to this game. I think one thing which we saw again from India's batting was Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, them forming that partnership of 88 up front was the difference. But they killed the game right there. Then whatever Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, all they had to do was to come and make a cruise control chase be much more smoother, because that's what they did. What Shubman and Rohit are doing right now is to kill the games off right from the word go, making the most out of power play, making the most out of the new ball, scoring a lot of runs. And today they were slightly more circumspect because of that extra batter not being there, because Hardik was injured. So they had that in their mind, or else it could have been a bigger start than that as well.
Exactly, and I think kudos to Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill, especially for the intent. Rohit Sharma in particular, because he has been leading from the front, and these are the starts that we got to see in the 2011 World Cup when Sachin Tendulkar and Virendra Sehwag walked out to bat. We were guaranteed that we would get off to a flyer, even if India loses.
Boundary in the first over as well. Mandatory.
Yeah, boundary in the first over as well, and I think that just sets the mood. It was a bit disappointing to see Rohit get out to a short delivery and in that way, but you can give it to that man, because I think he has really controlled that pull and hook shot brilliantly in this tournament so far. Apart from that, this one stroke, I think he wanted a bit more elevation to it, and he was trying to just keep the ball down, which he realized was not the right way to go about it. But I think overall, if you see Rohit Sharma's dismissals in 2022 and in the earlier parts of 2023, you would see that he was getting out to this short delivery, trying to pull out at deep mid wicket. The opposition was just luring him to play that shot. But I think the way he has controlled that in this World Cup, and he has just dominated short deliveries. And not just that, I think even Shreyas Iyer, you have to give some credit to Shreyas Iyer, because now you see that he's much more comfortable against the short delivery. He has worked on it. It was a plan that the opposition was repeatedly trying against Shreyas Iyer and Kohli as well, because Kohli got out against Australia to that short delivery. He was dropped to that short delivery, and then again against Pakistan as well. But today you saw that he was trying to control that pull shot that he plays on either side of mid wicket. You saw that he was really trying to control the shot. He was trying to get to the bounce and play the ball late. And get on top of the bounce. So I think a lot of these players are making that effort to better their game, and the starts that Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill are getting us off to is really commendable, because even if you get out on one of those games, it will be good. It will not be good. I mean, it will be the intent is so good that it does not really matter what the outcome is right now, because we have got 4 wins out of 4. The intent has looked solid. But then again, I would have liked if India would have won the toss and they would have batted first as well, because I want them to get through the bat first, score high, and then defend the total mark before the knockout stage as well. Because right now you can almost clearly state that New Zealand and India looks to be cruising through to the semi-finals. Absolutely. New Zealand, you still feel that they have already played Bangladesh, Netherlands, and Afghanistan. So they are going to get some really tough opponents now. But India will still play Sri Lanka and the Netherlands.
Absolutely. Teju says, hope Hardik recovers soon and plays on 29th. I still think he won't be fit for the New Zealand game, as also Teju feels. Maybe you can rest him for 29th as well. See how he goes on November 2nd game against Sri Lanka. Let's look at his recovery from a perspective of 2 weeks from now. That is November 2nd. Or maybe the game against South Africa in Eden Gardens. But let's see the reports. We are still very circumspect and skeptical about how things are. If he doesn't play, it really does mess up the balance of the team. He's such a vital cog in this team. And that also calls in for Shami coming at number 8 and also Surya Kumar Yadav coming into this team. So they might have to just make a couple of changes because of that very thing. It doesn't matter. Indian team is upbeat, as Kapil rightly mentioned. After the Australian game, one thing it has really done is that India were extremely confident after that Australian game. They knew that this was the worst that India could have been in, and they've gotten that out of the way. And from here on, nobody can really stop us until and unless we really press the panic button for ourselves. And that's the biggest thing, what we learned from the Australian game. And that's one thing which we did repeat as well. I don't think anybody can stop India after the Australian game because that was the worst you could have ever imagined. That was a nightmare which you really woke up out of and you really got home. Goat was always just Virat. Others are all Gante ka king. I don't know what to say about this. It's just beautiful. I mean, that's how it is. Serious poor batting from Shanto Miraz, Hriday Kohli से सीख ली थी. हाँ यार, मतलब Virat Kohli is whole another level. If they learn something, we are talking about a guy with second most ODI hundreds, just one behind the greatest. Our nemesis Sunday both unbeaten. I mean, what are the odds that match becomes a washout that they still remain unbeaten? Because last World Cup, New Zealand India was a washout,
Yeah.
and we met them in the semi-final.
But I think if tomorrow's game or I mean Sunday's game is a washout, we won't probably get New Zealand this time around because I think they are going to finish on the pole positions one
I
and
think we
two.
might meet them on the final then on 19th.
That is going to be really really interesting if that happens. But then again, I really feel that it was a brilliant I mean chase, and India, like you spoke about, that after the Australian game they have just followed this template of chasing and it looks simple. And the best thing about it is, even though we were playing in flat decks, today's one was really flat because I was we were talking about we don't know what exactly to expect from Pune because it's been some time since we had a game in Pune. But now we know that if this is what it is, then we can expect some high scoring games in Pune as well. But the way he handled say Shaheen Shah Afridi in Ahmedabad and Shariful Islam and Mustafizur Rahman today, the top order especially, Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill, I feel that they will feel a lot more comfortable facing a Trent Bolt in Dharamshala than they would have been probably prior 1 or 2 months prior to the World Cup. Say in Asia Cup, they would have really struggled to, from a mental standpoint as well, they would have felt that they weren't really fit to I mean, not fit. I mean, they couldn't really tackle a Trent Bolt early on. But the way they have showed in the last two games, the template that they have showed, the
Yeah.
fearless cricket brand that they have showed in the last two games, I think things, if Dharmashala is not a rain out, we hope that we get a full game. Then I think it's going to be a cracker of a contest. And I don't think Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill are going to change their game. They are going to come out all guns blazing.
एब्सोल्युटली घंटे का किंग तुम लोग कितने डिसरिस्पेक्ट थर्ड क्लास वो प्लेयर्स को डिसरिस्पेक्ट करती जहील लोग अरे यार हमने कोई प्लेयर का नाम ही नहीं लिया अब तक तो कौन सा घंटे का किंग हु इज दिस घंटे का किंग वी डोंट नो इफ यू थिंक एनीवन इज घंटे का किंग अकॉर्डिंग टू यू प्लीज नेम हिम we will see if that person is Gantika King or not. We are not taking anybody's name. That I think Priyanka's comment was totally on Gantika Kings rather than King. So never mind, Aisha. We love them. Don't spoil your mood. We are here to celebrate with India's win, and tomorrow we'll celebrate Pakistan's win, hopefully, or we might not. Either way, today's only disappointment is that we did not take 10 wickets of Bangladesh. For me, the disappointment was Shubman Gill missing out on his 100. That was an opportunity for him to score 100, and
that was an unnecessary shot. I mean, you are playing fearless cricketer, you have to give it to him when you get out like this. But then again, it wasn't really needed at that point. India was sort of stabilizing and going at a good pace. After Rohit Sharma got out, it was the best start that Kohli could get with 2 free hits, and they were rolling. I mean, they reached some 103 in 12 overs, so they were absolutely cruising at the point when Shubman Gill really tried to take on the bowlers, and they had already gotten around 70 runs in that phase of 11 to 20 overs as well. So that can be said as a shot that was not really required according to the scoreboard and stuff like that. But he was playing that brand of cricket where he wanted to really express himself and get to that 100 as quickly as possible. And it was one of those days where Mahmudullah picked up a great catch. It was a great catch because he really balanced it towards the end. It could have
Yeah,
easily his one of his feet could have easily landed on the cushions and it would
yeah.
have been a six. But it was a great catch. But nonetheless, a great start and a great innings from Shubman Gill as well.
Truly, well and truly. Indian bowlers were very disciplined except for Thakur in a batting track. And we also thank Shardul Thakur. If he wouldn't have gone for 6.6, we wouldn't have gotten the Virat Kohli 100. So let's just all thank Shardul Thakur for that exemplary bowling performance, giving us Virat Kohli's 4800. So thank you, Shardul Thakur. More than KL Rahul, I think we should thank Shardul Thakur for that expensive bowling spell. If not for him, all the other bowlers were going for 3.4 and 3.5 to 4.5, and that would have been extremely disappointing to chase 230. Virat Kohli missing out on that 100. So, Shardul Thakur, this is your best bowling performance of the decade. So, you get that. You deserve it.
I think
Absolutely
also
deserve it.
some credit should go to Mohammad Siraj as well. He picked up 2 wickets, but once again, I'm not happy with the lines he's bowling up front. But then again, he's bowling all those difficult overs towards the death as well. So 6 runs per over, he will take it on a flat track. Having said that, I think the way Rohit Sharma really utilized Shardul Thakur, if it would have been some other captain, or if the phase wouldn't have been so apt, I think Shardul, the way he was bowling, he would have traveled for over 70 runs in 9 overs. But that did not happen because he came into bowl in that middle over phase where he really got into some sort of a momentum. And whenever one wicket fell and the two batters were not really comfortable, he just gave the ball to Shardul Thakur to complete his quota of 9 overs, because one over were completed by Virat Kohli and Hardik Pandya.
Yeah,
So brilliant captaincy for
yeah,
me. I
absolutely.
think he is utilizing his resources perfectly. And I think if
But yeah,
this
I think
is, then
now the
I
biggest
don't
challenge
think.
is without
Yeah,
Hardik, how do you manage
exactly.
five
I was coming to
bowlers?
that.
That's the biggest one.
Yeah, exactly. I think if you are not playing Hardik, then probably the two options are Ishan Kishan and Surya Kumar Yadav.
Surya Kumar
And
Yadav.
going by the looks of it, I think Surya Kumar is going to be preferred for that number 6 position, because a
Absolutely.
finisher can replace a finisher. And then the onus will be on the five bowlers. And on a bad day, we saw probably Virat Kohli or a Rohit Sharma can give you 2 to 3 overs, and then they'll have that cushion of 7 to 8 overs to complete from, because Jadeja is looking on in top notch form. You have a Bumrah, Jadeja, and Kuldeep Yadav. Three of these bowlers are bowling beautifully. So 30 overs are sorted with this. Siraj is also bowling his quota of 10 overs, but I think he'll just get better as the tournament progresses, because we
Absolutely.
haven't yet seen prime Siraj in the power play. Because once he starts dominating the power play, I think a lot of teams will
I think
falter. And
Dharamshala is what Siraj is waiting for.
and
That
also, if you get
swing
in a
from Nishan
Shami,
over there.
I don't think you need a six bowling option, to be frank.
Yeah, yeah. To be very honest, if you bring in Shami, I think you have got three quality seamers and then two spinners in Jadeja and Kuldeep who've been exemplary. Jadeja put in a man of the match performance today. Just now with the ball, also on the field there, he was outstanding. And KL Rahul's catch, special mention to him. His footwork was outstanding today with that catch. One of the best catches, but taken by a keeper in this tournament. And Jadeja, man, patrolling that backward point region. Stop him if you can, or get past him if you can. That's one thing which Jadeja would like to
And
say,
the
and he
reaction
really
time was
deserves
less
that
than
best
one
fielder
second.
medal today.
It's so commendable, because the reaction time was some 0.6 seconds or something like
Yeah,
that. The ball traveled 23 meters, so it
absolutely.
was almost an impossible catch to dive to a
No,
right
Sandeep, that's where
wrong
I
side.
think we'll also have to give credit to a lot of fielding efforts today, likes of Kuldeep Yadav, likes of KL Rahul, likes of Jadeja, likes of Virat. I think we saved close to 25, 30 runs there. That makes a lot of difference. I mean, that would have only made Virat Kohli's century more better, but more easier to score that. But unfortunately, we did save those 20 runs, unfortunately as well. So which meant that we had to chase 20 runs lesser. So big credit to Indian team's fielding performance. They've been top notch. One thing which we all were complaining about at the start. Credits to Dilip, coach Dilip. I think credit where it's due. We did sit here and criticize him, but we want to give him credit where it's due. So kudos to Coach Dilip. I think that medal which they're giving in the dressing room has motivated everybody to do well. Updates on Hardik Pandya's injury. So update is that Rohit Sharma has told not to worry about it as of now. They're still assessing it, and he might be fit by the England game, which is on 29th. So he might miss out on the New Zealand game, and will be fit by England or the Sri Lanka game on November 3rd. It's not. There's nothing to worry about.
But I think he
So
was
he
clear
speaks
enough
about
with the
how the best.
indication. I think you can draw the interpretation that they are probably going to rest him for the New Zealand game, because in Dharamshala you
Absolutely, you
don't
don't want
really
to rest.
want. Yeah. Because also the outfield factor as well in Dharamshala
Yeah,
will be a key factor why you don't want to put players who are
I'm
not
very scared
100% fit.
about that game. I'm very scared about that game. Not because of the team we're playing in, because of the conditions over there. I don't know, man. I hope it's a washout, to be very fair. But nonetheless, you want to play there. You want to take revenge against New Zealand as well. Today's positive thing was that openers, especially Rohit and Kohli, batted left-hand paces very well, and you know, we hit them very hard and disregarding the old trap of their mentality. Absolutely, that's true. I mean, that's one thing which Rohit has really come prepared. He's looked to attack the balls coming in. Nabil says, can we all say Bumrah is putting in a man of the tournament performance? Look, okay, yeah, absolutely. I think, like Zahir Khan in 2011, I think 2023, Jasprit Bumrah is showing what he is showing. I mean, he is just outstanding with his performance. Every time he gets the ball, he's there to pick up a wicket or control the runs. And towards the death, it's totally tough to hit him. It's totally impossible to hit him, to get away with him. And the
That
only
delivery
secret
to
is
Muhammadullah was a peach,
oh, yeah. I think it
and
was the
it
second
was
time. If you
unplayable.
remember 2019, it was a repeat. He bought a
Yeah.
Yorker to Mahmudullah 2019 as well. So it was just the blast from the past for Mahmudullah to miss that. And that was just classic Bumrah out there. And even up front with the ball, as Aisha says, Bobby Bacha. I think the greatest cricketer in the galaxy is in action tomorrow. I think we all will be here tomorrow evening talking about the most runs scored. I don't know about the match winning or not, but runs definitely scored. Who's going to be replacement of Pandya in the next match? I think Surya Kumar Yadav as of now and Mohammad Shami instead of the Shardul Thakur. That's how they will be going ahead with that because you would want a stronger third bowler in that case because with Hardik, you always had a cushion to play Shardul Thakur, but you would be compromising on your batting, but technically strengthening it as well because you're getting a proper batter of Surya Kumar Yadav batting at 6 and you will have 7 batting options with Jadeja at 7 and then 5 proper bowlers. So that's how you would want to go about it. And against a team like New Zealand, it's not a bad option because you never know with Surya Kumar Yadav. He might just walk in and turn the course of the game because he's got the ability to do that. So, but Sandeep, let's talk about the spin choke, right? I mean, we've not spoken about it enough because this game was once again set up by the bowlers, as we mentioned earlier in the live. Jadeja, we did give him the credit. Kuldeep once again showing what he can possibly do. In Kuldeep and Jadeja in the middle overs, those 20 overs are now turning out to be decisive factors and giving us those victories.
Exactly, and I will not just say 20 overs. I will add, say, another 6 to 8 overs where Rohit Sharma is actually putting on a pacer from one end and Jadeja or Kuldeep Yadav is bowling from the other end. He's getting in Siraj for his second spell, a Bumrah for his second spell of those 2 to 3 overs, which are impacting the game as well because the batters are not really comfortable. Because if you see Rohit Sharma's captaincy, he's probably getting in at the most 8 to 9 overs of spin at a single go, and then he's getting in a pacer from one end just so that the batters are not settled enough to really take the attack on the bowlers. And I feel that this is the right captaincy, and I think he's understanding the resources perfectly. The utilization of the resources have been top notch. Having said that, I think also Kuldeep Yadav and Ravindra Jadeja are bowling perfectly. Jadeja, you still understand, he'll just try to bowl wicket to wicket, keep a flat line. But the way Kuldeep Yadav is mixing his variations, I know he does not have the wickets to show for it in this tournament yet. But I feel that Kuldeep Yadav has been a very brave bowler. And that is the change that we have seen for Kuldeep Yadav. Because last time, if you remember, I mean, in his previous stint, he was bowling very slower. We have already spoken about this in length. But Kuldeep Yadav, when he was bowling slower, he got hit for a 6. He was trying to change something in the line, in the length. But right now, you see that he's getting hit for a 6. Even if he gets hit for a 6, which is a rare occurrence, he is bowling the same line. He's asking you to hit him again. And I think that is what you should do. He is being that brave. And Jadeja and Kuldeep Yadav are really choking, like you said, the spin choke. The opposition are hardly getting to score. The most I think they have scored against Kuldeep and Jadeja is, I think, in today's game. And I think the combined total is around 85 in
Yeah,
20 overs. So
yeah,
the most that they have considered is 4.25 runs per over. And not to forget that they are giving you 2 to 3 wickets combined minimum at the least, because either Kuldeep Yadav is picking up 1 wicket or 2 wickets, and Jadeja is being consistent from the other end as well. So it's a brilliant combination that has been working for them. And I think on pitches that suit spinners, like the game in Lucknow, probably you will get to see Ravichandran Ashwin added to the mix as well. And I think then I mean, India are spoiled for options right now with the ball and with the bat. You have Mohammad Shami and Ravichandran Ashwin sitting out, and still India are putting on a world class performance with the ball. And with the bat, you see the likes of Surya Kumar Yadav, who has been in great form. Ishan Kishan, who has been in decent form, they are sitting out, and still India are performing really, really well. So I think so far so good, but let's take one game at a time and see how it goes.
Outfile prepared for host team ICC. Will win the cup. Umpires also with them. Ab mil gaya hate comment happy. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Will New Zealand be worried about India considering it's a prime form? If you look at New Zealand, they've had more gaping holes than Indian team has had in this World Cup, and they've not been exposed yet. Understandable, they won against England, but if you look at the next three games they had to play, right? They played Bangladesh, they went down to play Afghanistan,
And
and I think Netherlands as well. So it's not certainly the biggest test they've had. Even for India, you had two big tests which you got out of the way, which is Pakistan and Australia up front. So India are on different trajectory in comparison to New Zealand. Understandable, New Zealand did win all their four games, and there is no disrespect or discredit to giving New Zealand their credit because India also played against Afghanistan and Bangladesh on course of their four victories. But then if you look, India had tougher opposition. One tougher opposition was what New Zealand has had, and New Zealand has had more gaping holes so far in comparison to what India has had. So the only opportunity for India to really lose or the opportunity for New Zealand to really capitalize is the conditions which is on offer. And I think the conditions right now are favoring New Zealand, considering it's Dharamshala, it's going to be cold, the ball is going to nip around quite a lot. Trent Bolt, Matt Henry will be on top. And it'll again come down to how Indian openers play them out. If India wants to attack them, yes, well and good, or else India want to maybe a little bit take a little bit of time and then go after them. So there are a lot of things you need to consider. Is it going to be easier to batting under lights, like what you saw with South Africa, Netherlands? Or do you want to bat first and score big? So a lot of things you have to consider, but it's way too early. I think
yeah.
on maybe Saturday night we can maybe have a better a judgment of how things might
But
be,
I
but
think
it's still too
the
early.
only thing that would probably concern Team India is, I mean, Santner is bowling beautifully as well. I mean,
Yeah,
he is the leading wicket taker in the tournament right now. 11 wickets in 4 games, one more than Bumrah. But I feel that the fact that Lockie Ferguson is back into form, the third seamer, was what New Zealand were really struggling with at the start of this tournament. But in the last 2 games, even though they have played slightly weaker oppositions, but Lockie Ferguson has looked good. He's bowling with pace. He's hitting the length hard. And if that is something that we can expect from Lockie Ferguson, then I feel that is going to trouble India, because
yeah.
spin has not really
I
troubled
still think
India in this.
Lockheed wouldn't be a bigger threat like what you can see with Matt Henry or Trent Bolt.
No, definitely. I think India shouldn't get, if India manages not to get blown by the opening spell from Trent Bolt and Matt Henry. That is what I have maintained in this tournament. Because if you see New Zealand's success in this tournament, uh, the first 40 overs of their batting has really been conservative. You see, even in the matches where they have gone on to score 280 and 320, they have applied an approach where they are looking to keep wickets till the 40th over, no matter at what rate they are going. So it is going to be difficult for India to really pick up wickets in that middle over phase, because they
Yeah,
are applying that conservative approach. But
yeah,
they have been reeling after the 40 overs, only because they have wickets in
absolutely.
hand. Players like Daryl Mitchell, Glenn Phillips, and Tom Latham have been able to capitalize in the last 10 overs and really put their score well in excess of par, or probably par. And then the bowlers are doing the job for them, like for
Absolutely.
Team India as well. So it's going to be India's batting versus New Zealand's bowling. That is going to be the determining factor.
Absolutely. By the way, the predictions for tomorrow's game, I think it's going to be 50-50 for me because it's in Bangalore. You never know how things are going to turn. But Australia's picking up momentum. Often we've seen when you lose to an arch rival, it takes time to recover out of these losses. So if Pakistan can recover and recuperate and come well faster, then Pakistan might be slightly edging. But then I still think Australia's momentum gain in the recent past might be slightly edging towards Australia. I think 51-49 for Australia as of now. But you never know with these games and
No, I
anything can
think
happen.
Australia will have to be the favorites heading into tomorrow's game, even though they lost to South Africa, who lost to the Netherlands, but who lost to Pakistan. So you have the chain over there. If Pakistan loses to Australia, we have a whole circle out there. But I think given the conditions and the momentum, I think Australia got off a solid win against Sri Lanka in the last game, and Pakistan faltered against India in a tremendous
Yeah.
manner, where there was a huge collapse. So I
Mhm.
think taking all the things into consideration, even though it is going to be a belter of a track, hopefully for Chinnaswamy, you can always expect a belter of a track, and it is going to be high scoring. But then again, Australia have better firepower. I think it's going to be the battle of the spinners that is going to decide it. Zampa and
Absolutely.
Maxwell versus Shadab Khan and Mohammad Nawaz. I think the better duo will
I
go away with the
think the
walk away
issue
with the
for the
victory.
Pakistani spinners is it's just a nightmare to walk into Chinnaswamy and ball spin there. I mean, if it was any other ground in the country, you would maybe next game when they're playing in Chennai, it's still better. But in Chinnaswamy, with the confidence they have right now, which is dented, I think it's just going to be a tough time for the likes of Pakistan spinners, and even for the Pacers for that matter, likes of Harris Roth. If you ball quick, it
Yeah.
just travels faster and just lands in Cubbon Park if you know the conditions near Chinnaswamy.
I think
So
the wrist spinner has to really, really step up. I think Shadab Khan will have to do a better job. He has really underperformed, according to me, in this
yeah,
tournament and in the Asia Cup as well. I think he is not performing to his full potential as he was in last year. He was on prime form. He was hitting that purple patch both
yeah,
with bat and ball. But right now, I think
yeah,
Shadab Khan will have to step up. Also, having said that, if Pakistan can somehow manage to beat Australia, then they have clear daylight. And I think it's going to be very difficult for Australia to bounce back then, because one
yeah.
win out of four is going to be very, very difficult to surmount a comeback. But if Australia
Absolutely.
manages to win tomorrow, then they will also be on 50% with two wins out of four. So will Pakistan. So I think that will give them a better chance to sort of be in the game. So I think it's a do or die game for Australia tomorrow, and it's a must-win game for Australia tomorrow.
Absolutely. Local ball Maxi hitting switch hits. I mean, for Maxwell, it's a homecoming.
Even
Obviously,
a David
considering
Warner,
it's
I
been,
think David Warner is going to hit lots of switch hits tomorrow.
yeah, I think considering Chinnaswamy, David Warner is an exemplary record in Chinnaswamy as well. So for these guys, I think it's going to be a better batting surface considering these guys play a lot of cricket in Chinnaswamy. Josh Hazelwood is another one. Mitchell Stark, the former RCB man. So Adam Zampa did not play a lot of games for RCB in Chinnaswamy. So a lot of RCB boys back in action in their home ground. Proud feeling as an RCB fan, but then I hope they make the most out of it considering it's their home venue. Mitchell Stark, Josh Hazelwood, Adam Zampa, Glenn Maxwell, and for the matter, most of them, they can make the most out of it because Chinnaswamy is one pitch in the country for true bounce. You can get a lot of runs, and you can go for a lot of runs if you're a bowler. Regardless of the greatest class you carry, you will be treated equally on equal footing with every other bowler in Chinnaswamy. That's one thing. That's why, as an RCB fan, I can know all the bowlers have traveled. Uh, can Kohli break the most number of hundreds in the record in this World Cup? That's a very interesting question. Satyamani, when would you
Definitely, you
ideally like to
have
see
at least.
Kohli break that particular margin of 49th hundred or 50th hundred in a World Cup group stage or in a World Cup knockout?
It will be poetic if we can do that in a World Cup knockout. But then again, I mean, Kohli still has five group games, and also the hoping that India makes it to the finals, two more knockout games as well. So 7 games to get to that landmark of two
200.
centuries. I think it's possible because Kohli is batting really well. He looks to be in form. He was really disappointed to get out the way he did against Australia in '85. Uh, so I think it's a matter of time that will happen, and I would ideally love it it will be absolutely poetic if he gets it done in the knockouts, because I mean, what else can you expect? A big stage, the biggest stage of them all for cricket World Cups, knockouts. India are really suffering in the knockouts. Kohli comes in and gets that century. So ideally, it should come in that knockouts.
Oh man, this year for Virat Kohli has been tremendous. Almost 7 international hundreds is what he has got right now. I mean,
Yeah.
outstanding from Virat Kohli. From where he had 100 draw. Imagine if he would have scored at least 3-4 hundreds during that 3 year phase. We would have been talking about him surpassing Sachin Tendulkar by now. But it all had to line or align for this World Cup to score maybe his 50th one day international hundred and break Sachin Tendulkar's record. As this game would say, if I have to just have a segment on Virat Kohli, he will go down as the greatest ever one-day cricketer. You talk about Tendulkar's 4900s, but Virat Kohli's impact in terms of match-winning ability surpasses all of this, isn't it?
Exactly. And I think it's going to be a huge stage, huge ovation that he's going to get. I mean, Pune was absolutely on fire tonight when Kohli scored. I think he scored 32 of the last 33 runs, and the other run was an extra. So I think it was just a Kohli show at the end, thankfully
And
encouraged
he
by
scored at a very
KL Rahul
quick
as well.
time as well. We're talking about being
Yeah,
selfish. He
yeah,
scored in like
no, not at
15
all
balls. That's
selfish.
all
I
he took.
think that's what I was coming to. I mean, Kohli was worried that it would not look nice, but he scored 11 runs of that spin over, and then he got, I think, 6 runs of the next over, and then he had started accelerating in the last over itself, where he got another 9 runs as well. And to finish it off with a six, it was just ideal. 3 overs is all it took for Kohli to score those 32 runs. So it was
Yeah, absolutely.
not a wastage of time. If anything, they
15 balls.
actually
15 balls to be
yeah, they
precise.
actually
15 balls
accelerated.
for the killer. Yeah, absolutely. So if that's called selfish, I don't know what else do you call selfish by scoring 130, 120, 130 of 120, 100 of 130 balls, 120 balls, 100 against Netherlands and Zimbabwe, etc., etc. So if that is a good team spirit or batsmanship, and this is selfish, then we're talking about double standards here. So that's what I wanted to really highlight here. I'm also losing words at this point. So does that mean India plays its same captain, same squad in 2025 World Cup? If at all India loses World Cup, right, your narrative will be very different, Kapil. So I think India will still not play with the same squad and same captain. And the Champions Trophy happening in Pakistan is a big question mark. Like that question mark of yours is the three question marks. So let's just end it right there on that note. I don't know if there'll be same squad, same captain, same players. And this is the last IC tournament for all these players. I don't think the next T20 World Cup you're going to see the same squad as well. So let's enjoy it while it lasts. You never know how long it lasts. So have fun, all of you. Good night. See you all tomorrow. On that ending note, do not forget to check out our app Boomer 11 right now. As you might have already played the India versus Bangladesh contest, you can actually play tomorrow's Pakistan versus Australia contest. Make your teams right now, and also check the predictor feature on our app and check the premium contest on our shop as well. Buy something from our shop, enter into the Boomer Premium contest by collecting some Boomer coins, and you can win some mega prizes doing that. So have a good time, all of you. Good night, stay safe, and see you all very soon tomorrow. Bye bye. Take care.
Good night, guys.